Hello everybody, this is Shirley at So Too We Begin Embroidery. Thank you for stopping by. Today is a special day that I will tell you about a little later. But right now I just want to have a short discussion about the embroidery business and then stick around a little later for a surprise. But before I get started, please hit the subscribe button, give me thumbs up with a like, and hit the notification bell, and please share the video with all of your friends and colleagues. Again, thank you for stopping by. So today I'm just going to talk to you about the embroidery business. Now, many of you, including myself, decided to get into embroidery maybe initially as a fun crafting hobby. I know for myself, I've always loved embroidered items, and I've always had the curiosity of embroidery since I knew how to sew, but never really ventured out to do anything about it until last year. And it really didn't have anything to do with the pandemic. It just fell in line during the same time that the pandemic hit. But I actually got my single needle embroidery machine for a hobby, just for something to do, to occupy my time, to make beautiful items and things like that. And the more I learned about it and the more I was showing the things that I was creating, it was suggested to me that I actually go into business and start it. So that's what I have been trying to do for this past year. And I have to tell you that an embroidery business or any type of entrepreneurship venture has its ups and down and ups and down. That sometimes people are very blessed and lucky that they can hit the ground running and start making lots of money. But what is normal is that it can take anywhere from a year to 5 years to actually begin to see a profit. So that's the reason why I just wanted to talk to you just briefly about some of the things that I have learned about starting a business. And one very important thing to do is to make sure this is something that you are really interested in, and that you make sure that you are prepared professionally or skillfully, I guess is the best way of describing it, that you learn as much about how to embroider something before you actually venture out to do the sale, because your reputation precedes you and you want to make sure that you are doing the very best work as best as possible. I just realized I didn't turn my light on, so I hope the first part of this wasn't too dark. But again, as I was saying, that you want to make sure that you learn as much as possible about doing the work and make sure that you can put out quality work. And then after that, or during that same time, you're going to have to get your equipment and your inventory. And one thing that all of the books talk about, and if you listen to experts on YouTube and Facebook and what have you, they speak of a niche market. And that is pretty much define what you are best in and get as proficient in that area as possible, so you can market yourself as being the best mask maker, the best baby clothes embroidery bibs or birthing cloths or blankets, or the best monogrammer, or the best cap embroiderer. Whatever your niche market is. And how do you do that? Well, one of it, what do you like doing and what do you do good? The other is to research and see what is missing in your area. Now, there are so many people that have gone into their own home-based business, and in embroidery, if you're new, that's probably the best route. I know it's the least expensive route to go, is to start your business from home if you can. Many people start from home in a bedroom, basement. I've even seen someone clean out a closet. My little space is not much bigger than a walk-in closet. And then you also need to make sure you have your equipment. And many people, including myself, start off with a single needle machine. That's the most economical. You can get set up with a single needle machine and some inventory, blank caps, baby onesies, whatever, quickly and relatively inexpensive. And then advertise the best you can. I don't recommend starting off with any type of paid advertisement, but word of mouth really helps. So if you have a friend that has a friend that has a friend, or your church or your school or your kids' school or your job or things like that, where you can build upon that, do something for somebody, and they tell somebody and tell somebody, and then it grows that way and you get started. Many people start off that way, but it is important to understand that you most likely are not going to get rich and make a lot of money right away, but that reputation precedes you, and as long as you're doing a good job, you will probably most likely be able to sustain some type of income that will take care of you until you can actually start making a profit. Which again, if you're employed outside of the home, it is recommended, highly recommended, that you maintain your employment because you don't want to just hop up and quit your job right away and not sure if the business is going to flourish or be able to support your expenses. So you want to make sure that you continue to work. So that's just some of the little nuances that I wanted to talk about. But I also want to make a few points that I have found in some of the materials that I've read. And the things that has been advised is to make sure that it's conducive for you to work from home. Do you have the space? Do you have the outage? Do you have the ability to be able to focus at home without a lot of distractions, where you can actually do your business? Everything that the phone set up, your computer, all of those things. Do you have the equipment or room for the equipment and so forth? So make sure you can work from home. Make sure your home is appropriate. Are you going to have people come to your home, your customers? Or are you going to go to them, meet up at a Starbucks or Panera or someplace like that for your customer, in some place outside of your home? Are you going to, I wouldn't suggest renting a spot, but that's something to think about. Are you going to have strange people coming to your home? Does your home area, your home association or your apartment complex or wherever you are, allow that type of traffic? That's something very important to keep in mind, especially if you're doing a business in an apartment or even in your home. Oftentimes you have to have permission and license from the county that you live in, the city that you live in. If you do have a registered business, you got to get a license. And if you're in an apartment, you have to have permission to do business, especially if you have people coming in and out. So you need to take that into consideration. I do remember seeing a YouTube video a while back from one of the people that I go to get advice from. And one of the things that was mentioned, someone was kind of really upset because they had started their business in the apartment, and then the apartment leasing office found out about it and found out that it wasn't allowed, and she had to shut it down because she was in a lease. She couldn't break the lease, and it was not allowed, so she couldn't legally do it without having some repercussion. So just try to keep that in mind. Also, as I mentioned about finding a niche market, And they do recommend that you, once you decide what it is that you think you want to do or you're skillful in, that you do the research, or either do the research first and see what's missing, see what the need is. If there's schools around where you can do some sport team items, which is very lucrative, or restaurants, or medical offices, hospitals, doctors' offices, all of those types of places are interesting places that you probably can get some business started. Your local barber, beautician, those kinds of places that you might want to reach out to, find out what their needs are, and then provide that need and see if they do need something embroidered, you know, smocks, or even the mask, or the capes that they put around you, the t-shirts for the restaurants, or the scrubs for the offices. There's a lot of things out there that you might be able to horn into and get your business started. The other thing is, of course, establish the paperwork. Now, I'm going to mention LegalZoom because I used LegalZoom for a prior business that I had set up many years ago, and it's an economical way of getting all of your legality papers and stuff in place to actually start your business. Do a research how you want to do a sole proprietor or an LLC, or how you want to set it up. You might want to do some research on that if you're wanting to go that route right away, or if you just want to kind of do a moms and pop and see how it goes before you actually step out into the legal realm. But think about your tax issues that go along with that. So don't forget that important information. Also, as I mentioned about familiarize yourself with your equipment, learn your craft, very important. After that, create a website. Create a website that you can showcase some of your work. Get on social media. Have a Facebook, Instagram, even a YouTube channel. Those are some of the ways to get your name out there, get your product out there, get your business out there, so you can hopefully drum up some business that way. That is your advertising strategy, and do that immediately, especially once you start doing something, because the word of mouth is very good and it can be very lucrative if you're in the right area with the right niche, but it may not be enough to sustain you and to allow you to grow. So you're going to need some type of advertisement or marketing plan. And then think about additional income and services that you can incorporate into your business. Now, for me, that's something down the line, like everybody wants to digitize, and everybody I see on Facebook are asking about digitizing and how can I, do this in my business. And digitizing is a very exact art that takes a long time to be very proficient in it, well enough, in my opinion, to actually sell it as a service. So I don't recommend that you jump into embroidery and then immediately try to jump into digitizing. I thought about it, looked into it, and I backed off because, yes, I do want to learn how to digitize, but I need to learn more about embroidery before I go that realm. Can it save you money to do your own digitizing? Maybe. Don't know. But if you can get yourself lined up with a good digitizing company, then I would do that and stick with a good digitizing company and utilize their services until you're able to do it yourself. So that's outsourcing. Just like you're going to have to outsource all of your blanks that you're using. You got to find some vendors that can provide the things that you want to utilize that can give you a good price. And if you can establish, if the need is there, a business loan where you can actually build up. But if you have a home-based business, me personally, I wouldn't go that route. I would wait until I grow up in my business before I go that far, especially if you have some other income coming in that can sustain all of your personal expenses and stuff. Just do what you can afford to do and let the business grow and not get yourself in a lot of debt, because you're already spending out money or getting in debt, getting your equipment and everything like that, and you don't want to add on top of that, feet first, and jump in and get this big loan and what have you. And just remember, give yourself some time. Don't expect for things to happen overnight. I get on Facebook a lot, I get on YouTube a lot, but mainly on Facebook and a lot of the groups that I'm in. A lot of people have tried to start or are starting Etsy shops, which I think is a very good way of generating business, especially if you're doing good quality work well enough to sell to the masses, and you can support getting a lot of orders, because once you put it out there, you need to be able to fill it, or you're going to lose. If you get orders and can't fill them in a timely manner, then you're going to sink quickly. So think very hard about opening up an Etsy shop if you're not indeed ready. But if you do, don't get discouraged if it doesn't shoot off immediately. It may take you a year or two, or it may only take 3 months. Who knows? But you have to be willing to give it time, and you have to stick with it, and you have to be determined, and you have to make sure that this is what you really, really want to do, and hang in there. And if you put your heart and soul and energy and your skill and your attention to it, then it, and I'm a Christian, so I'm going to say this, if it's the Lord's will, it will happen. You just have to trust and believe in yourself, and trust and believe in your skill, and trust and believe that you're going to get what the Lord has planned for you to get. And so just be patient. Now, one other thing that I do want to address before I go into the little surprise is I've seen a lot of people that have asked questions about services and refunds and customers not being satisfied, and how do you handle that? Now, I've read a lot of different things, and you probably can't see this, but it's a order contract. I recommend that you have some type of contract in writing. Now, I do know some people just simply use text as their contract. I personally don't think that's the best way to do it. Have I done it? Yes. But you need to explain to your customer what your policies are prior to taking the order, so they will know up front what the expectation is, and you will know up front what it is that your responsibility and obligations are. If you deliver a product to a client, are you responsible for taking it back if they're not happy, or refunding them and letting them keep it? Do you provide the blanks or the shirts or whatever you want to call it, or are you going to take their garments and stitch on it, and if you ruin it, what are you going to do? What if it's irreplaceable? Those are the things that you need to think about, and you need to put into your contract. This particular contract that I have lists the approvals, and you need to have your customers and you discuss the design, the color, the placement, the size, all of that prior to, and then sign on the dotted line and indicate if there are any last minute changes that may up the cost, because you maybe have wasted material, and you definitely have wasted your time, your thread, and what have you. So you want to make sure that that's taken care of. And how are you going to take care of that? And if you don't meet the timeline, what are the consequences on your end? And how will the customer be compensated if it is your fault? The customer's garment, again, are you going to use their garment? And again, what happens if you mess up? That happens. Stitching out things don't always go right the first time, and I don't care how skillful you are. You may mess up. The machine may do something crazy, and you got a messed up shirt, messed up hat, messed up whatever, and it's irreplaceable. What are you going to do? What does your contract say you're agreed upon? And then your returns and exchanges. Are you going to do it on a case by case basis based upon the circumstances? I have had at least a couple of situations where I actually had to redo something because of a misunderstanding. And as a business person, the replacement of the item was less costly. A customer and have a disgruntled customer that could go out and spread the word saying, I don't honor my work, and they were unsatisfied. So for me, it was cheaper for me, as they say, cheaper to keep her, and I redid the work. They were happy, and it benefited me substantially to do that. So you have to make a determination. Like I said, that should be on a in my opinion, case by case basis, but it needs to be clarified up front in the beginning. And then once you have all these things clarified, then you definitely, on the last page of this, it has signatures, my signature and the customer signature, and dated. So everybody, and then you keep a copy, they keep a copy, and everybody's aware of what it is that the expectation is. The other thing that's helpful, a couple of things that's helpful, some type of calendar, or I have a whiteboard that I mark on if I, when things are due and what I'm supposed to do and how it's supposed to be done and what have you. I also have on my whiteboard when I've changed out a needle on what needle that I changed, like did I change the needle on 1, 2, or 3 or whatever, when I changed it, so I know when it's time to change it again. Or if I put a metallic needle on one or a leather needle on one, so I'll know, okay, number 1 has a metallic needle on it, number 7 has a leather needle on it because I was using that color or whatever. So I have a whiteboard that I use, and I found this little order sheet, but I haven't used it because my computer is not set up yet to edit PDFs. I got to get that. But what I use, I went to Sam's and I bought these invoice pads where I put my orders on there, what has been asked for. Actually, hold on, I'll get it. It's a sales order receipt book, and they have them at Sam's, and I just do my orders. I write my orders on there, the name, address, phone number, what order it is, so I can kind of keep up with my inventory, what they've actually ordered, how many of those, how much it costs, what the total is, and what was paid, when it was paid, all of that stuff. So you need some type of order booklet, and as your company grows, then maybe you can get it personalized at Vistaprint, something like that. And then forgot about that, get you some business cards. Have business cards, and keep your business card in everything that you have, in your wallet, in your purse, in your car, wherever you go, so you never know when there's an opportunity to pass out a card. So get you plenty of business cards with your business name, your name, how you can be contacted. If you have any social media outlets, have all that information on there so people can reach you. So get you some business card, and Vistaprint is an inexpensive thing to use. They can assist you with logos and things like that, or you can go online and look up inexpensive logos and who can make them for you, and go that route. I did that. I had logos made, and then I had a digitizer that I used to actually digitize my logo so I could stitch them out on some shirts and things, which I have on some of my other videos. And then of course I have them on my business card. So those are the things that I just wanted to mention about the embroidery business and the things that you should be thinking about if you have a business. So with that being said, I'll move on to the reveal. Here I am. Happy birthday to me. Today is my birthday. The big 7-0. I am 70 years old today. And I just wanted to share my birthday with all of you and thank you so much for viewing my channel. And I do appreciate that. The biggest birthday present you can give me is to subscribe to my channel. Give me a thumbs up. Hit the notification bell to be notified when I upload another video, and to share my video with all of your friends and colleagues. So I just wanted to stop by today, give that little pearl of information, and like I said, share my birthday with you. I am 70 and fabulous, and I am so blessed and thankful that God has seen fit for me to live 7 decades on this earth. And one nugget that I want to make sure that I give all of you before I close out the video today is to let you know you are never ever too old to start any new venture. Never too old to believe in yourself and feel that you can go forward with doing something other than what you probably thought you could do. I started this venture a year ago. I started my YouTube channel about 4 months ago, and it is flourishing. I am enjoying what I do. I am enjoying embroidery immensely. I love it. I can certainly do a lot better on the business end, but I'm optimistic and I'm loving the channel and putting information out there that people are commenting and saying it is useful to them and they're learning, and that makes me feel good. So again, the best birthday present you can give me to wish me a happy big 7-0, 70 years, is to subscribe to my channel, hit that like button, share, and be notified of my upcoming videos. Thank you for stopping by, and just drop me a comment and wish me a happy birthday. That would make my day. Thank you so much and have a wonderful day.